god. I just got a
My chick
haircut.
good. My chick do stuff that your chick wish she could. My chick bad, better than you.
It looks so good. Oh my god, I had so many like damaged split ends and now it just looks so good. I'm so excited about it. People over there were so nice and I just feel so good now. So I thought I'd film a like a 2020 eyeshadow palette collection video. I watch these all the time and I was like, one day I'll do that, one day, and now today's the day. I'm gonna do it today. I don't like a lot of jibber jabber, so we're just gonna get straight to it. I mainly have a lot of higher end eyeshadow palettes compared to drugstore. The first palette I ever got was the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This was my favorite palette forever. I think I cried when I got this palette, but I keep all my palettes in the packaging. And this palette was used pretty well. I mean, not really. I hit pan on white chocolate. My favorite shades from this palette were white chocolate, marzipan, and salted caramel. I didn't really use any of the other ones since I didn't really know how. Oh look, there's me! Second palette I wanted for so long was this the Naked One Urban Decay eyeshadow palette. Oh, it doesn't come out like the other one. So this is the Naked Urban Decay 1 palette. I think they discontinued this palette. I keep it in there with the brush. This brush is honestly like not good, but it's okay. This is what it looks like. I hardly touched it. I saved up for so long for this palette and I was like, you know what, it's not even good. It only has 2 mattes, which are right here, which is Naked and Buck. All the other ones are shimmers. And I was like, why the heck did I get this? I also got this palette when I was maybe 16 or 17. And at that time, everyone thought Urban Decay had the best formula. But then Morphe and brands like ColourPop started coming out with better formulas and pigmentation and stuff, and realized that maybe Urban Decay isn't the best on the market anymore. So basically nowadays you can get really good quality palettes for cheap, so it's not really worth spending $54 on something that's not even great. But I'm grateful for it. You know, I think I bought that with my own money, so that was good. I wanted this for a long time and now I'm just holding on to it because it's like a collector's item now. Like, they don't make this anymore, from what I heard. Next high-end palette is the Anasazi Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This palette was so good. So I had the chocolate bar one, right? And then I got this one, and I was like, this one is the bomb.com. This formula is amazing. It was so good. So that's what this one looks like. It's pretty good. I like the formula a lot. I just don't really use browns. I'm not like a brown eyeshadow kind of person. I know I did brown today, that's because I did it in like 5 minutes, but I was like, I really like this color, Primavera, and I like this one, Vermeer, right there, and Raw Sienna and Burnt Orange, and Tempera, I don't know, I like those. When I'm feeling like a reddish orangey tone, I'll go for this palette, but other than that, I don't use it. Okay, the next palette is one of my newest ones, and this is the Anasazi Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. I have not even opened this one yet. I got it for Christmas, which was like 3 months ago. I think I opened it to look at it, but this is gonna be kind of like a first impressions because I haven't looked at it. Ooh, it's so pretty. Okay, look, so it comes with the brush and oh, I got it. Okay, so this is so pretty. As you can see, it's untouched. All of those 3 shimmers at the top and that one on the right and this one right here. So basically all the shimmers look so good. Oh my god, look at Pink Rose. So pretty. I will need to use that if it's like a date. I'm going on a date or something. I'll definitely bust this out. I have this little 3-set collection. It came in like like a Too Faced Christmas package type thing. It was one of the things they do every year. What I was trying to say was I got a Too Faced holiday collection set. I think this was from like their 2016 holiday edition. I know it's really old, but I'm not throwing them away. So this one is the Too Faced gingerbread cookie. It looks like this. It kind of smells like chocolate. It's been a while. This one right here and this one are the only ones I really used. Winter Dream and Ginger Snap. But other than that, I don't use it. This one is Peppermint Mocha. And I used Sprinkles in this one right here. But other than that, I don't use it because I have better palettes now. So this one right here is Eggnog Latte. I used Frosty Nog, this one right here, and some of these right here, so I didn't really reach for these. This was my first ever eyeshadow palette ever. I got this from someone a long time ago, and it's an eyeshadow palette from e.l.f., but I only used it for my eyebrows. I only used this shade. You can see I really made a dent in there. And I just used like one of those thin fluffy brushes, I forgot what it was called, and I just literally just went and put it on. I've come so far. My other drugstore palettes right here are both from Wet n Wild. This one is Comfort Zone, which I think I saw Kathleen Lights use it like 5 years ago or something, and I was like, I need this palette. I said that like 3 years ago, and I saw her use this palette, and I was like, this is so pretty. She was like, it's only $5, you can go get it at the store. And so I went to H-E-B and I hopped on that and I went and got it. So I actually like this one. This one right here is kind of like holographic. It's so cool. So I really like this palette a lot when I got it. You can see that this is supposed to be a look and this is supposed to be a look. So you just go straight down, it tells you what it is. But I didn't really like that. I only used it for this shade and this shade, and that was probably it. But I'm gonna keep on to it because it's like memorabilia. The second Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette I have is this one called Poster Child. And I liked this one a lot because this was my first bright colored palette. And I was like, oh my god, this is great. I love rainbow colors now. This is awesome. I used a few of them except for maybe these bottom two, and obviously I wasn't really sure what I was doing, so I was just like putting it on and then taking it off. But yeah, I could do something with that. But honestly I probably won't because now I have this one. This is the Morphe 35B palette, which is also discontinued. This one was my mega rainbow palette, and I was like, this one is great. I used it all the time. I was freaking like rainbowing it up. I have a picture of a rainbow look I did. I'll insert it right here. And I have a green look I did. If I can find that one, I'll insert it right here too. But yeah, I used this white shade a lot. I think I hit pan on that one. It's whatever. I hit pan on it, just believe me. But yeah, I used most of the white. And then I just literally loved all the colors in here. I kind of stayed away from the black because I'm not really good with black eyeshadow. I'll just kind of make the whole look black by adding a dot and then I ruin it. So I don't really try to use black anymore. But other than that, I really like this palette. And it sucks that they discontinued it, but I'm going to show it anyway. My other Morphe palette is the Morphe 35F palette. And this was like my neutral palette. I thought this palette was the bomb.com. Every time I go get a palette, I always make sure I do a bunch of research on it to make sure that I like the formula, I like the color, I listen to other people's opinions. This one right here, I used to use my brow shade, and that's why it's like empty. I don't really use this palette. It's kind of like a plummy brown tone, but like I said, I'm not really a brown shade kind of person. I have the James Charles palette. I just think it's so pretty. Look at it. Okay. And then I was like reading it. Like, I don't even watch his videos like that. But I was like, hi sisters, James Charles here. Welcome back to my palette. I thought it was so funny. I like to keep all my palettes in the packaging so they don't get damaged, because I've seen the Modern Renaissance palette get a lot of dust on it, and I'm not about that life. So I keep the box and I keep it in the bubble wrap, and this is it. Voila! I'm sure everyone has seen this. So yeah, this palette is awesome. I actually have a story about this palette. So I worked at Ulta for maybe like a month. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Like, being a cashier and everything was really boring. Anyway, I was working at Ulta when this palette dropped. Basically, when I was working at Ulta, everyone was being so hectic. Everyone was calling the store. They were saying, do you have the James Charles palette? Do you have the James Charles palette? And for about a month or two, we didn't have it because we would get it in the morning and then it would be sold out within 3 hours. So one day I was working and we actually did have it. They put up a full brand new display with where all the palettes were shown. My register was closest to the door, right in front of the James Charles display. So I was seeing every customer come in, grab 2 palettes and go straight into the line. There was only maybe about 30 to 40 palettes, so 15 people could come and wipe out all the palettes, and I would have to check them out. So there would be no way I would be able to get a palette, so I was stressing out because I didn't think I was going to get one, even though I had touched maybe 20. My shift was almost over and I had to wait, and so after I was like, okay, I'm leaving, whatever, on the little earpiece. And then I went around the counter, I grabbed like literally the last palette, which it wasn't this one. I grabbed the last palette, went to the back, hid it behind the Paul Mitchell shampoos and conditioners. I clocked out, came back, got all my stuff, made sure it was still there. It was. I went over there. I think I spent like I got like $100 worth of products for like 70, so that was like a good deal because you get the Ulta discount and then the coupons and then whatever else is going on. Yeah, and then I was so nice enough that I gave this palette to my mom first because I was telling her about it. I was talking to her about it for like 2 months. I was like, I really want this palette. I kept talking to her about it, and I gave it to her, and then a month later I finally got my own, and that is this one, and I will keep this forever because I fought so hard for it. So last but not least, I have 5 ColourPop palettes. So the first palette is the Blue Moon palette. I got this one for Christmas from my boyfriend. Thank you, Wyatt. And I love this palette a lot. I love all of them because they're all bright colored and they all are one color. Like, they're all like monochromatic in a way, and I really like that. So this is the blue palette, the Blue Moon. I've used this one maybe 4 times. It's great. I love all of it. Except really like the dark colors. I don't really mess with the dark shades. But all the bright ones and all the shimmers, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Next is Going Coconut. This is like their brown palette. I know I said I'm not a brown shadow kind of gal, but this one is pretty and I had to get it, okay? Don't get mad at me. I think the reason why I got this palette was because they were having a deal, and it was actually cheaper to get one more palette than to pay for shipping. So I got this one, and I actually used this today. Yeah, it's just another brown palette, but I do like the shimmers. My next palette is the Ooh La La palette, which is the pink palette. I really like this palette because it is a pink palette. Look how pretty that is. It is so pretty and shimmery. Ah, the camera's not doing it justice. It reminds me of like hot pink candy. This one is so pretty. It's just such a pretty palette. This one right here is the Main Squeeze palette. This is like an orangey toned kind of palette. Super cute. It looks like watermelon. Ooh. I'm not really an orangey person, but if I feel like I want to look like Big Red, then I'll go for this palette. Or if I'm going to the beach, you know, there's just certain times where you need to have oranges and browns. So that's what I have it for, and they just make me so happy. You ever just have something like it's not about being materialistic, like that's not the meaning of life, but there's just certain things that just make you happy. And this makes me happy. Oh, the next palette is It's My Pleasure. Ooh, it's like a purpley pink palette. Looks like this. I think mixing this one and Ooh La La would be super pretty. This palette's so pretty. You can see it has pinks, purples, maybe like a maroonish color. But these shimmers got my soul. Okay guys, thank you for watching my eyeshadow palette collection video. Comment literally anything below and I will see you later. Deuces!